Every town has places people don't talk about. They aren't marked on maps and they're not on tourist brochures. They're the places locals warn you about quietly, as if saying too much will attract unwanted attention. In my town, that place is Blackwood Lane. By day, it looks like any forgotten street. The pavement is cracked, weeds push through the cement, and half the houses are abandoned. Some of the windows are boarded shut, others hang open like gaping mouths. Even in the sunlight, the place feels wrong. People avoid it, not because of what it looks like, but because of what happens there at night. The stories go back decades. Some say it started after a factory accident nearby, when a chemical spill supposedly poisoned the land. Others claim there was a house on the street where an entire family vanished without a trace, leaving dinner still warm on the table. Over the years, the stories grew darker, and one detail stayed the same: the fog. At exactly midnight, without fail, a dense fog begins to creep in from nowhere. It doesn't matter if the skies are clear or if the wind is calm. The fog comes anyway. It doesn't drift naturally like morning mist. It moves with purpose, crawling along the ground, swallowing every corner of the lane until you can't see more than a few feet ahead. People who have stood there when it happens describe it the same way. The air turns heavy, the sound of crickets and wind disappear, and then the silence hits. A silence so deep it feels like the whole world is holding its breath. That's when the footsteps begin. They don't start close. They echo faintly at first, like someone is walking somewhere behind you. The sound of shoes dragging across pavement. The longer you stay, the louder they become. They never come from the same direction twice. Sometimes they sound like they're behind you, other times right in front, hidden just beyond the fog. If you run, the steps quicken. If you stop, they stop too. Always a few feet away, always just out of sight. The bravest ones say they've turned to look. Most see nothing but fog, thick and endless. But a few have sworn they saw shadows moving within it. Tall, thin shapes, too still to be human, waiting just beyond reach. There are stories of people who didn't make it out. One of the most well-known was a teenager named Daniel. He and his friends dared each other to walk the length of Blackwood Lane at midnight. Halfway through, they heard the footsteps. His friends panicked and ran, but Daniel tried to laugh it off. He said it was just an echo, just their imagination. When they finally made it to the end of the street, Daniel wasn't with them. They never saw him again. Another story tells of a delivery driver who took the lane as a shortcut one night. His truck was found abandoned in the middle of the road, headlights still on, doors wide open. The only sign of him was a set of footprints that led a few yards into the fog and then stopped, as if he had simply vanished into thin air. Some locals believe the fog is cursed, that it's not weather at all, but something alive. They say it feeds on fear, drawing people deeper until there's no way out. The strangest part is that the fog doesn't always stay on Blackwood Lane. There are countless accounts of people who walked the street at night and then felt the fog follow them home. They describe waking up to find their windows covered in condensation, or hearing footsteps in their hallways long after they've left the street. One woman even claimed she saw the fog filling her bedroom, thick and heavy, while she lay frozen in her bed. She swears she could see figures standing in it, watching her until she passed out. No one has ever been able to explain what causes it. Scientists have tried to write it off as natural mist from the nearby marshland, but no one believes that. Normal fog doesn't stalk people. Normal fog doesn't whisper. Yes, whisper. That's the part most people leave out, but those who have been closest to it say they've heard voices inside, soft, low, and almost familiar, calling their names. Some say the fog mimics the voices of loved ones. Others claim they've heard the screams of the people who disappeared, trapped inside forever. No one stays long enough to find out for sure. Every warning is the same. If you ever find yourself on Blackwood Lane at midnight, leave. Don't stop to listen. Don't follow the footsteps. And above all, don't answer the voices. Because once the fog notices you, it doesn't let go. And when it finally clears, the street always feels different, quieter, emptier, as if it has taken someone new. That is why the locals say, without hesitation, Blackwood Lane is a street you should avoid at all costs.